This is a help video for a grade 5 violin piece called Character Study No. 6. It's from this book, the 2020 to 2023 Trinity grade 5 violin syllabus. It's on page 18 and 19. Looks like it's a very, very long piece. It's not. You only have to play the theme, variation 1 and variation 2 that goes up to there. You do not have to play with the bit with the semiquavers. Some people might look at it and go, it's an unaccompanied piece, I don't want to do an unaccompanied piece. That's a matter of choice, of course, but there are lots of advantages to doing unaccompanied pieces, one of which is that you are playing on your own. You don't have to go at anybody else's speed, you don't have to worry about staying with your accompanist or keeping at their speed. You have a little more flexibility with your own tempo. There are two more features of this piece that you're going to need to think about. One is that in each part, the theme and the two variations, there are changes of time signature. The theme goes from 4/4 to 3/4 for the occasional bar. Variation 1 goes from 3/4 to 2/4 for the occasional bar. And variation 2, back to 4/4, but just for one bar in variation 2, you go to 3/4. This isn't a big problem. You just have to remember each time not to play the last note of the shortened bar for too long. It's easy to do that by mistake. The other thing which can be tricky in this piece is that in variation 2 there are these things here, harmonics, which may not be harmonics that you've played before, but we will deal with those as it goes along. Now we're going to start off by looking at the theme. The theme is fairly straightforward to play. Things that you need to watch out for, obviously the changing time signature. Don't play the last note of those 2, 3, 4 bars too long. There are a number of accidentals. There are no sharps or flats in the key signature, but there are those few accidentals. Watch out for those. And on the first E, I would recommend that you start on a 4th finger E and not an open string. It makes it easier to play because you don't have to switch strings on a slurred note, and also it sounds nice. I'm going to play the theme all the way through. Listen for the accidental notes. There is a rit at the end of line 2 and there are changing dynamics. 1, 2, 3, 4. In variation 1, there are a few issues that you need to look at really before trying the whole thing. The first thing is that there is a lot of string crossing. Alternate notes in the 4th line are open E. You'll be starting though on a 4th finger E, and that note should be in tune with that one. So practice that 4th line to get used to the string crossing, and every other note is going to be an open E. This continues through the next line, but at the end of line 5 in bar 20, one of the open E's, in fact 2 of the open E's, will turn into a fingered E. That's to help you get the G sharp. So it will go fingered E, open E, B, fingered E, G sharp, open E. So practice that bar so that you know that that fingered E is coming up. On the next line, this will be bar 23 and 24. After you've played the beginning of the line, which is normal notes in first position, you shift back into half position for your E flat. Keep your third finger at the same spacing so that you get a D flat with that. B flat is back on the A string, and then C will be a whole tone away from that, so there will be a space between your first and second fingers. So you will go like that on bar 23. Bar 24, stay in half position, A flat with your fourth finger, E flat with your first finger. So your fourth finger is not on your fourth finger sticker, it's not on your third finger sticker, it's in between the two. A flat is the same note as G sharp. So those two bars will go like that. If we start at the beginning of line 6 on bar 21, it will go and then it moves back forwards into first position for bar 25. The next bit we need to look at is a couple of lines down the page, bar 33, where your alternate note turns into the A string, the open A string. So instead of alternating with an E, now you're alternating with an A. On bar 35, it turns back into an E, but it's a fingered E, so that you can get there from the notes that you need to play on the D string. And here's variation 1. Now we need to think about the harmonics in variation 2. You may have played ordinary harmonics before. The harmonics that you've played are probably these ones. In the middle of the string, you know, you just lightly touch the string, but don't press it down. These harmonics work in exactly the same way, except they're in a different place. This harmonic is in the middle of the string. It cuts the string in two. It's halfway along the string. The first one that you find, which is this one here, it's like you're playing a D on the A string, but you're playing it as a harmonic. Now this one can be tricky to find. You need to make sure that your D really is in tune, and then with one finger lift it up. One trick to playing this is when you play it, make your bow move really quickly. It will be an up bow, it's only a 1-beat note, so do it quickly. It will be that high note, that's what you're aiming for. And you may notice that I'm only touching the string with my 3rd finger. Don't touch the string with your other fingers, otherwise that will stop the harmonic. The other harmonic is on the next page, and it's there. This one is an E played on the A string. So you play it with your 4th finger on the A string, again only touching with your 4th finger. It will again be an up bow, like that. And at the end of variation 2, this is the most tricky bit, there are those 2 harmonics, one after the other. So you go 4th finger, 3rd finger, don't touch with your other fingers, it should go like that. It may take quite a bit of practice to really get your fingers to do what you want them to do. It's probably going to take quite a bit of practice to really get those harmonics happy, and it could be that they're still a bit chancy. That's the way it is with harmonics. If you don't get them while you're practicing the whole thing, keep on going through, practice them as a separate entity. Other things to watch out for in variation 2, it's in triplets, so the notes will go da 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 da, 3 to a beat. There are lots of accidentals again. Make sure you get them every time and don't just play it the first time in the bar. In bar 39 there are 3 C sharps, for instance. Make sure you get them all. And then there is that single bar of 3/4, bar 46. It's very tempting to play that last note longer. Don't let yourself do that. You'll probably find that you have to play that last bit a lot of times to get it right. You'll find that you play everything else right and mess up the last note. I totally missed that last harmonic. Sometimes you have to just pretend you got it right, but practice it anyway.